You're watching My Child and I, and this week we're taking a look at single parenting. More and more men and women are finding themselves having to manage their children pretty much all on their own. And for those of us who have children, we know that that is no easy task. So here to help us look at the issue today is Marcia Graham, Director of Parados, who's pretty much a part of the My Child and I family now.
Yes, we are.
And Tony Olton, Leadership Development Consultant. Thank you, Tony.
Sure. Thanks for having us.
And of course, there's never a story more powerful than a true story. Marcia Waltrus allowed us to come into her home this week, and she has a 2-year-old live wire, and she says she doesn't have that much of a support network. So let's take a look at Marcia's story. Marcia Waltrus is raising her 2-year-old daughter Tiamike practically all on her own. Her family support system is minimal as her siblings live far from her, and Tiamike's dad lives in another country.
Being a single parent is quite a challenge. It's actually a juggling act. You have to juggle work, home, play, and life in general.
For Marcia, the days can sometimes be very long.
I awake at 4:30 a.m. every morning. I cook lunch, breakfast. I would prepare everything before she gets up. It's getting up ahead of Tiamike and try and head out through the door by 7. Sometimes that could be 7:15. On a bad day, it could be 7:30. There are times when she awake at 4:30 with me. Yes, that is when it is really a juggling act, because at that time in the morning, she wants me to hold her, and I want to prepare breakfast and lunch. That's what I have to do in order to get out through the door. Work finishes at 5 o'clock. I have a friend, dear friend, Betty. Her son goes to preschool with my daughter, and she would hold her back for me on evenings until I reach Parados. Before that, I was allowed to take half hour at the end of the day, but that has become challenging, so I can no longer do the 4:30. So Betty stepped in for me, Lord bless her soul. And she would hold her until I arrive at the school. A lot of the times in the evening, I can fall asleep reading to her, and then I will awake again around 12, could be 1, and do the preparations for the morning. If I have to plait her hair, that usually is done during the mid-morning hours, because it's difficult to keep her still when awake. To plait her hair, she does not like it plait when she's awake. So instead of doing that fight, I would just do the reading and other things with her, and then when she's asleep, then I would do it like mid-morning, 2 and 3 o'clock. So I can be up all morning if I'm plaiting it small without sleep until the next night. That is where it becomes very difficult.
Yet despite her hectic schedule, this mom is doing what she must to ensure that Tiamike has a holistic experience. She does swimming for exercise, mom takes her to church, and also works with Tiamike to ensure she's thriving academically.
Very good. That's a nice tea. Write another tea for Tiamike.
She also makes time for discipline.
I want a juice.
How do you ask for a juice?
Please for a juice.
And what's the other way?
May I have juice, please?
Because I want to get...
Nothing.
But where does mom find the time?
I make the time. I make the time.
Marcia admits that seeing her daughter flourish makes up for the sacrifice it takes. She also seems to be learning to take one day at a time. How do you feel on a good day? How do you feel on a bad day?
On a bad day, overwhelmed. On a good day, I did it again. I can go and do it again tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Marcia and Tony, we saw her story. Now, some parents will tell you, some single parents, that they have a support network. But a lot of parents are probably managing on a daily basis, pretty much on their own. Do you think that what we saw in Marcia's story is far-fetched? Or do you think that pretty much those are some of the challenges that you are aware of when people have to parent on their own?
Parenting is never an easy task, even when you've got a partner to go the way with you. And for those persons who are on their own, it's doubly challenging. And in Marcia's story, she didn't have the extended family support. You need a network. When I think of single parenting, you really, the term single doesn't really exist because you need persons. Either she has a friend, or either somebody at school, somebody from the office, somebody in your family, somebody to help. Because if you had to do it alone, all the time, you'll be really, really exhausted. So a lot of it is happening for several reasons. Tamika's daddy lives overseas, and there are persons whose father has died or the mother has died, and the partner is left on their own. And then there's a separation and a divorce where the other partner is not there. And it's really a challenging exercise, but you need family support. In the Caribbean, it used to be the situation where the grannies and the aunties and uncles and everybody rallied around to help support. A lot of that is not happening now because persons are moving away from home and owning their own homes and then having to travel the distance to get to family. But it's a challenge, but one that's not insurmountable.
Okay. I think, Tony, I want you to weigh in on this. Is it different? Because people will say, well, I'm a parent, I have a partner, yes, but it's really tough. It's just as tough as if they were a single parent. Do single parents have specific or special challenges?
Very, very, very special challenges. As Marcia pointed out just now, very few single parents come to single parenting by choice. And so invariably it's a circumstance in one way or another that is foisted on you. That begins the challenge. In the case of, let's say, death, you enter single parenting in grief. In the case of your partner walking away from the relationship, you enter single parenting with an emotion of a sense of abandonment. And so you start single parenting invariably in a negative context. You're probably 16, 17, 19. You've given yourself to someone else. Out of that comes a child. And then that person is not there to support you either during the pregnancy or after the pregnancy. So most single parenting begins in a context of negativity. You take that into your parenting. And what the child experiences then is not you at your best being able to focus on that child, but with an overwhelming focus on yourself.
Tony, you have touched on such an important point, and I also want Marcia to weigh in on this as well, and for us to really begin to look, and I like the idea of identifying what are the special challenges, because I think out of that, we get a better sense as a community, how do we help? So stay with us. My Child and I continues in a moment.
This was the distraction that caught the attention of the driver that insured his car with United. Vehicle owners insured with United Insurance don't need to worry about what will happen after an accident because they know that United will always be there, helping them reach their destination. Don't worry, you're in safe hands with United.
Hello, I'm Francine Charles, the host of My Child and I, where parents, teachers, and the wider community get together to look at how we can better raise our region's children. Well, we are now on the World Wide Web at mychild&i.com. Keep track of the program, get all of our healthy tips, and find out about conferences in your area on My Child and I online at www.mychild-and-i.com.